that my word choice was extremely degrading and disrespectful to women. And to be honest, that was not my intentions. And to the young people who see this, I hope that you learn something from this as well. Don't be like me, be better than me. And to the reporters, to the journalists, to the moms, super moms, to the daughters.
All colors, creeds, nationalities. And he debased himself to a degree where he says, be better than me. So it checks every list for me, aside from the timing was maybe 24 hours later than I think people would have ideally liked it. But I believe him. I believe him that once he realized the gravity of what he had said, which I do not think he realized instantly, I think he thought he was being cute. Once he realized that, I think he felt badly about it and wanted to apologize for it.
I had a little bit of an issue with the timing of it. It felt very reactionary to me. It felt like it happened. He was approached directly afterward the press conference. You said something wrong. Here's a quick opportunity to apologize if you want to apologize, or to address it. Let's just say that if you want to address it. He was dismissive there from what Jordan Rodriguez said. And then there was like 24 hours. And it was a whole day worth of backlash on social media. It was, I'm sure, being spoken to by the team on a number of levels, including the head coach, Ron Rivera, having to address this at a press conference. Then the sponsor, Dannon, pulls their sponsorship from him. A lot happened. Not to mention the fact, I'm sure he was spoken to by friends, close friends and family. Dude, what? Even if they're thinking it, you certainly don't say it, especially from this position of as an elite quarterback. And then the whole day goes by before he actually makes an apology. And I just felt like it was a pressured apology. It felt to me, and I believe it was sincere, but it felt to me like the team asked him to do it and said, you need to get on board. You need to make an apology. So go make an apology.
When was the last time that we saw an apology that wasn't forced? I mean, when was the last time?
Does that make it right?
No, I'm asking a question. That's a legitimate question.
But I don't know.
When was the last time that, especially for a male, successful, that he said, you know something, I'm going to self-reflect. I'm going to get ahead of this. I'm going to apologize before people think I should apologize. Most apologies come when you're forced into it. Now, it's not a matter, was he forced into it? Do I think that he was contrite afterwards? I think that when he started seeing the optics and people close to him start talking to him, he realized this was wrong. So it's always the right time to do the right thing. So I don't know when he realized it, but at some point he did realize it. I don't have him on a pitch count. I don't have him on a timeline. He decided last night it was time to apologize. So I'm not going to think that he's wrong in his timing. I listened to his words. And I have the benefit of knowing Cam since he was 17. And if Cam didn't think he was wrong, I don't think he would have had the press conference. But I think a number of people probably talked to Cam. He realized that the optics of it, realized, wow, what I did say, now looking at it, saying, because Cam is a charismatic, he's a guy that likes to have fun in a joking manner. And sometimes you can miss the mark or be wrong in doing that. Cam, in no way am I trying to support Cam and what he said. What he said was totally wrong.
Do you really believe, in your heart of hearts, and be honest with me, that Cam Newton would have apologized? But no, we've gone to break, and I've heard other things where I felt like could have sided with me. Do you believe that Cam would have apologized if the organization did not ask him to? Do you think he would have done that completely on his own after listening to a couple things, saying, you know what, I think I was wrong?
I don't think he would have apologized. I don't know who asked him to. What I am very confident in this, Jenna.
I'm pretty confident the team asked him to.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Don't you think the team asked him to way earlier? Don't you think the team asked him to before they released their statement? Don't you think the team wanted included in their statement that was released first thing the next morning? And so, hold on. So, it clearly wasn't purely, oh, my boss is making me do it. There was something else that happened, some further evolution of thought, or maybe it was as bottom line as the sponsor. I think it was all of these things. I think listen, Cam's not an actor, and Cam also didn't have to do this.
I don't know. Let me ask you, Cece, when the organization comes to you and says, and you talk about this a lot, when the organization says, you're going to do this.
I've never had no, I've done a lot of things wrong. I never had no statement that I wanted to do myself. All of them were forced.
Okay, so there you go.
But
so the organization,
if they were forced, does it mean they weren't sincere, though?
Oh, no, you're right.
Because you can know you're wrong.
Yeah, but we've gone through a time in life where you could be wrong and not have to apologize.
Right.
Oh, we live in a society now, you must apologize.
And this
People want to see a public apology.
And this was something I want to be clear. Sometimes we have full outrage and we force apologies over things they don't need apologies for. I think Cam should have apologized. He didn't need to apologize to me, like I wasn't the aggrieved party. But I do wonder if we're trying to thread the needle a little too much here. Like, because let me ask you this, Jenna. What would have sat better with you? And I'm saying this from no place of judgment, honest question. If 45 minutes after the press conference, the team releases a statement that includes a quote from Cam, I shouldn't, I'm very regretful for what I said.
No.
Of course, and that was it. It would have been instant, but it wouldn't have had the gravity, the sincerity of the length of that.
I can't put a time on. I don't know what time it is. That's too specific. What I can speak to, and let's just talk about the bigger issue, is the fact that we all at this table know that this goes through the heads of many NFL players. And that's the sad part and the unfortunate part, because we've broken countless barriers trying to get ourselves to a point where we are in that locker room as studied as any other reporter in there who has never played a lick of football. And we do the best job we possibly can, sometimes more, because we want to be on par. And the fact that it was agreed at this table that not only is he thinking this, but I'm sure it's been, a lot of guys in that locker room are thinking the same thing. I think it's a statement, and it's a testament to the thought that's out there so far, and that we have a long way to go.
Well, and Cece, that you mentioned earlier off the air, I think, about why, because of the stance Cam had taken last week for rights, why this was particularly disappointing for you.
It was very disappointing because last week he finally got into the Kaepernick, I'm with Cap, and said great words about Cap and his struggle and how he put his career on the line, how Cap, he's one of the few people that said Cap is good enough to be playing in the NFL, and I stand with Cap. So what he was really standing with was equal rights, equal treatment. And then the following week, he goes and cuts her legs out from up under her. That's all she wants. She just wants the equal rights. She just wants the equal treatment of any man that's in an NFL locker room, the ability to ask the same questions and get an authentic response. So what he put his name behind last week, this week, he was totally the opposite way. So for me, I expect him to apologize, but what's more important than the timing is how he's going to live. What's he going to do? How's he going to act in the locker room?
Right.
How's he going to treat the next woman? What type of message is he going to allow his voice to convey because he has a huge platform? Those are more important than me than the timing.
It's true. And this is going to be show me, Cam, show me.
Yeah,
it's not going to be one apology. It's not going to be when the apology came. It's not going to be the sincerity of the apology, but it is going to be, let me see over the course of the rest of the season. And, of course, he's going to go out of his way to make sure. But I'd love to see this from multiple players.
Well, and Jenna, you're not the only person that is keying in on the timing. And maybe I'm just, sensitive to this. I was doing a live radio show and said something in the moment that I thought was totally fine. My bosses mentioned to me afterwards, Nick, you shouldn't have said that. I was like, I am fine. After about a day hearing from people I cared about, people it wasn't about something like this, and I was like, okay, I guess I was right in the moment.
No, afterwards,
the next
did you want to apologize? Did your company make you apologize? There's a difference. If you really truly felt it and knew that you did something wrong.
I think Cam wouldn't have done it if he, at least part of him, didn't want to move on from it.
All right. Well, speaking of which, we are going to do just that. Nick.
Oh, I get to make people money.
You ready?